The beginning of the universe, if indeed there was one, is a fascinating debate in cosmology, and one in which it appears we are still some way away from fully understanding. So why wait for science? Why not make up your own story and then tell that as fact? I am of course joking here, but some people aren't when it comes to this subject. And today on Tinfoil's Tuesday, I found a story that really does take the biscuit. Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday with me, Simon Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. Before we begin today's video, a quick word on a new venture of mine that I've done with a friend, Spanners. If you like podcasts and or confessionals, then our new podcast, Final Written Warning, is for you. In it, we air your dirty work laundry for the entire world to sniff. That sounds grim. Anyway, Final Written Warning podcast on your usual podcast provider, or there's a YouTube channel as well if you are more of a fan of video. Both links for those are in the description. Try it out and then please do let me know what you think. Right, on with today's video, where a man called Dave Murphy wants to tell us how the Most High, whoever they are, have created the universe. You must remember Dave. He was the guy who tried to arrest a bunch of policemen when they stopped him from closing down a vaccination centre.
So we're going to have to...
Sir? I'm going to have to ask you to arrest these men.
Oh, he was also once on a North Macedonian chat show being interviewed about flat Earth.
Nobody has actually really gone all the way across Antarctica. Yeah. Now, there are millionaires out there who could, assemble the resources to make an expedition and completely, go across and chart Antarctica.
And he drinks his own urine. But now Dave has come forward with a presentation regarding the universe as a whole. I warn you though, Dave's ramblings here leave a very sour taste. Take it away, Dave.
So, what we call the Most High is actually the electromagnetic spectrum. Because essentially that is all there is. Yeah, light and radio waves, and if you go right down on the scale, it goes down to solid matter, which is light vibrating at a slow rate.
None of the electromagnetic spectrum is solid matter. What are you blithering on about, Dave?
Okay, but we inhabit a very small slice of that electromagnetic spectrum. Yeah, so there's visible light, and this basically is our the range of what we can detect with our machines.
Well, we don't inhabit that little section. It's the light that we can see, yes, but we don't inhabit it, no.
Okay, a little further down will be, as I said, solid matter. Okay, but the Most High goes off infinitely that way and infinitely that way. Okay.
Well, not entirely infinity. A wavelength can only be stretched or squashed so far, but it probably is close to infinite. Let's remember though, this is still light we are talking about here, not matter.
Let's move on. So, what would, if you were a singularity, the only thing there is in the universe, well, there's no universe, the only thing there is, okay, there's nothing else, just you, right? And right, you could symbolize yourself as a singularity, even though that singularity is all there is. Okay, you can symbolize yourself as that singularity. What would be the most interesting thought or interesting concept for a being that is all there is?
Great, I've got a few. Picture me as a singularity. 1. I fancy going speed dating. Ah, damn it. 2. Dave said this would be awesome, but it's blimmin' boring. 3. I wonder what would happen if I fart.
Anyone? Other or duality.
Why stop there, Dave?
Yeah? So, he can symbolise himself as one point, and something else other than him symbolises another point. Right? So that point is a certain distance away. So he's actually created the concept of two-dimensional space. Okay? So he's there and he's symbolised something else as other, a certain distance away. But it doesn't matter if that other is up here or up there, down there or over here. It's other, a certain distance away. So he might, think of, hey Dave, he might think of exploring all the possible points that other could be that distance away.
How are people still awake at this thing?
Which is a circle. Okay, now it's got the concept of a circle. Right, well, hang on a minute. It's got a circle around to this point. Right, all the possible views of the other from where he is. Well, the other has got a perspective as well. So you can draw another circle like that.
Oh, I bloody love a Venn diagram.
And now we've got this idea of a vesica Pisces, it's called. This intersection in the middle is called the vesica Pisces, right? But in that vesica Pisces, you've got other points like where it crosses over here, where it crosses over here. And you can think of a line that goes from that top bit through that point and touching a point on that circle. Yeah, so you've got the idea of two-dimensional geometry.
What a day this singularity is having, by the way. Positively Renaissance-like.
All two-dimensional geometry starts with an equilateral triangle, okay? And interestingly, look, you've got the equilateral triangle there, and you've got another one embedded in it upside down. Remember that, because that's going to come up again.
Noted, Dave.
But as I said, you've got new points to start with now, so you can keep drawing circles. And if you keep drawing circles, you end up with this. Anybody come across this before?
Yeah.
Oh, one or two of you then. This is it's going to be hard work, I know. But the thing about this flower of life, as it's called, is embedded in it is all 3D geometry. Okay, you can actually draw out 3D geometry in this flower of life.
What exactly is he getting at here? That some singularity created by the electromagnetic spectrum suddenly had an epiphany and all of a sudden created everything?
And these are called the Platonic solids. This is the basis of all 3D geometry. Okay, everything in this world conforms to this 3D geometry. So when cells start to multiply, okay, when you get, I think it's 9, I can't remember how many, but they conform to the icosahedron, okay?
Really, Dave? 9 cells conform to a 20-sided 3D polygon? And Dave moves on at this point to the Fibonacci sequence. Surprise, surprise.
Fibonacci sequence, okay? Well, so you can see those first numbers here. A sequence implies time, because time is essentially a series of events, okay? A sequence. This happens to be the true sequence of the universe.
What? A sequence where you add the last 2 numbers to get the next number in that sequence is the sequence of the universe? Really? I mean, I know we see this in nature, but come on, Dave.
You know, our math is wrong. We think the real sequence is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on and so on.
Well, no, that's just counting.
But no, the universe uses this maths. Okay, this sequence is the next number is the previous 2 numbers added together. Okay, so this sequence implies mind. A mind has to come up with this sequence. A mind has to calculate the next number.
Dave, we only know the numbers because we came up with numbers. These patterns would be in nature whether we existed or not. And if we didn't exist, there'd be no talk of an on high, whoever they are, from a pea drinker in a pub garden.
You get that? Yeah? So this implies mind. And this is the calculation. It's xn, right? Might be confusing. Xn equals xn minus 1, so that number equals this number plus this number. Okay? That's all it says. Okay? But this implies time. It turns out that time actually follows this pattern. Okay? This Fibonacci sequence. Because this is a software on the trading floor. Okay? Now they know, the traders know, that in a Fibonacci period, okay, the same events happen in the next Fibonacci period, but stretch out over a longer period.
But these are selected by traders as a way to track initial starting points more closely and then a more general pattern after longer periods. These don't naturally occur in trading.
Now, when I was a computer programmer, the very first little application I did had a calendar in it. And so I coded this calendar, and I thought, well, every 4 years is a leap year, right? Everyone think that? Every 4 years is a leap year. Well, I coded that way, and my program didn't work.
Flat Earther can't code leap year. You can't make it up, to be honest, can you? That is proper funny.
Turns out it's very much more complicated than that, okay? Because an average year, so it's not all the same year, same each year, an average year is 365.2425, not 0.25, okay? So you have to divide it by 4, then divide it by 100, and divide it by 400 to make it right, okay? But even that is wrong, because that's only an average. That is why our calendars always fail. They always have to be reset every so often, okay?
Do they? I don't remember a time the calendar was reset, and I'm 41. Oh, and just to mention, a year in which we orbit the sun is 365.256 days. The 365.2425 days that you're referring to is the average year length if we're talking about the Gregorian calendar as a whole, which has a 400-year cycle.
But we're talking about, every 400 years or so, it has to be reset.
Not reset, it just starts again. A bit like how we go from December back to January.
So we don't actually experience it very much because we don't live that long. But it turns out the Mayan calendar is exactly perfect because, again, time is cyclical, okay? And because the Mayan calendar is also cyclical, it keeps time perfectly. So it turns out that knowing how the future is made up of the present plus the past, okay, the system is actually building technology to take advantage of that, okay? They think if they alter the past, they can control the present and determine the future.
Was that a throwaway line from the Matrix script? I've got to ask because it sounded very silly, Dave.
Now, I don't know if anyone's come across this thing, the D-Wave computer. Anyone? The D-Wave quantum computer. Okay? So, it's essentially a big fridge, and it doesn't look like any computer, you're used to. All there is a bit of gubbins at the top, and it comes down to this thing in the middle of it. Okay? Does that look like an eye to you? Yeah? A one eye? Yeah. So, if you rearrange the letters on D-Wave, you get demon.
Yeah, because if you wanted to make a computer that controlled the world, you'd definitely make its logo be able to look like the word demon, wouldn't you? What does this man do with his life? Honestly. Right, I've had a stomach full today, but if you want me to look at more of this presentation from Dave, let me know in the comments below, and I will. But please remember, it is more of the same guff. So that means we're done and debunked for another Tinfoil Tuesday. Thanks so much for watching, it truly is appreciated. If you enjoyed this one, please do consider subscribing to the channel, hitting the thumbs up button too, and of course sharing it if the feeling takes you as well. I've been Simon Dan, have yourselves a fantastic day, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another Flat Earth meme debunking special. See you then. Bye bye.